Thank you. Thank you very much, Costa. And good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I completely endorse what the moderator mentioned, that there are two aspects to e-governance. One is to use technology to improve your own internal systems and processes. And the second is to utilize technology again to deliver services to your clients, to your customers efficiently. Now, all the states in our country, all the government ministries, all the state government departments, I'm absolutely sure that they have embraced e-governance to some extent or the other. If not anything else, at least they have put up a website on which certain information is shared. And on the other extreme are ministries, departments, government organizations which have completely employed or deployed technology in each and every aspect. Now, I represent the state of Telangana. This is a new state, as all of you are aware. But even in the composite state of Andhra Pradesh, from which Telangana has been bifurcated, we have been one of the forerunners, one of the early adopters of e-governance, both in the first and the second aspects, that is both in improving our own internal processes, etc. So we were the first state to start what are called the statewide area network, which provided this linkages of the state government headquarters with the district headquarters and subsequently to the block or the taluka headquarters. Similarly, we were the first state to adopt what are called e-office solutions and convert many offices into paperless offices. In terms of delivery of services to citizens, the e-Seva centers, the citizen service centers which were started in the composite state are now continuing in a very big way in the state of Telangana. In fact, we have recently concluded the 4 crores transactions in our under our e-Seva, or what is now called Me Seva platform. Close to 300 odd services, citizen services are offered through this kind of a platform. But despite all these achievements, I still feel that there is a lot which needs to be achieved. And from the government's perspective, we are now looking at this issue from two aspects. One is the supply of e-governance, particularly the citizen services, and second is the demand for e-governance services. In terms of supply side, as I said, we now have the facility to provide services right up to the taluka level, which in Telangana and Andhra Pradesh are called mandals. These are actually units below a taluka. A typical erstwhile taluka or a block has been divided into smaller administrative units. Roughly 4 to 5 mandals comprise, or they used to comprise, an erstwhile block. Now, we are moving into the next stage, which of course some states have already introduced in some way, but we are planning to do it in a very comprehensive way, which is the concept of e-panchayats. We want to ensure that every panchayat also now has the possibility of delivering citizen services at the doorstep. And now that there are other kinds of transactions also which the government provides to the citizens, we want to ensure that even these transactions are possible through this one-stop shop which are going to be located at each panchayat. For example, under the National Rural Employment Guarantee Scheme, lots of wage payments are made frequently. Similarly, there are lots of social security pensions. In the morning we heard about various banking schemes, particularly micro banking schemes, rural banking schemes, and very recently our national government has also introduced micro pension schemes. Now it is possible to bring all these facilities, all these services together in this e-panchayat, but the issue is that what is right now the service infrastructure which can carry, because some of the panchayats can be very, very remote, some of the panchayats are large, and it may be required to subdivide that panchayat into smaller units and provide this facility even at a village level. Now, what is the connectivity, particularly what we understand as the last mile connectivity issue? In the Telangana government, while we have a national program which is called NOFN, National Optic Fiber Network Program, but in Telangana we have decided to go many steps further. NOFN, as you know, right now is rolling on a pilot basis and that too the connectivity is provided just to the panchayat headquarter in that pilot locations also. In Telangana, we have taken, as I said, 10 steps further. And what we have decided is that each and every household, there are roughly close to, the population of the state is 36 million, roughly about 8 million households, 8.5 million households. Each and every household will be connected with fiber. And this is again an opportunity which has come to us very, very fortuitously. In the state, we are now providing a piped drinking water supply to every household under a large government scheme, which is called the Telangana Water Grid Program. Each and every household, wherever you are located, it could be the remotest possible village, but every household will get a tapped water pipeline. Now, as you know, to provide that kind of pipeline, the entire state has to be trenched. Trenches have to be dug, and these water pipelines have to be laid. So we are in a way piggybacking on this particular scheme to get the optic fiber cable pipelines also laid, and we'll be getting tenders floated to get providers also who will put these optic fiber networks. So every household, in that sense, the last mile connectivity problem will be sorted out. Similarly, we have also got arrangements with major telecommunication companies who are rolling out 4G services in the entire length and breadth of the state. And for the larger cities, including Hyderabad city and the other large municipal corporations in the city, we are also taking care of making the entire city Wi-Fi enabled. So this work has started in Hyderabad, and hopefully within a year we will have the complete city of Hyderabad and 4 more municipal corporations becoming Wi-Fi enabled. So with this three-pronged approaches of providing fiber network to every household, of providing 4G services throughout the state, and making Wi-Fi available on in each of the large cities, we hope to take care of the supply side of this e-governance, and not just the government services, but even e-commerce platforms. In the morning, gentlemen presented about this money on mobile scheme. Many of these issues are meant to facilitate bringing rural areas also, the issues of inclusiveness, the issues of breaking the digital divide into picture. And this is yet another way in which we ensure that supply is taken care of in terms of connectivity, so that e-governance benefits can be partaken. Now the second issue is about the demand. While we create supply, is there enough demand for the e-governance services? And the biggest barrier there is in terms of digital literacy. Now again, we know that there is a national program called the National Digital Literacy Mission, but this again is being rolled out in a pilot mode in a very, very limited bandwidth. And here also the kind of comprehensiveness and the kind of speed that is required is missing in the national program. So again, a very audacious goal has been set in our state of Telangana, and we have designed our own program called the Digital Telangana Program. And our mission is to ensure that one member of each household, again the same 8.5 million households, at least one member in every household must become digitally literate. And the definition of digital literacy is, see, as many of you will be aware, India has gone through the conventional literacy programs, and the definition of whether you are a literate person or not is whether you can sign your name. But as we know, this is not really the essence of literacy. I can still learn to sign my name without knowing anything without becoming aware about anything about my context or my surroundings. So we are defining digital literacy in a different way, and the way we define, if you really become digital literate, it means that you have got the basic skills to come on the e-governance platforms, etc. And our definition is that one member of every household should be able to open an email account and should be able to send an email, compose a mail and send it to someone. It could be in English, it could be in vernacular language, which is Telugu in our state, or Urdu, which is the second language. So this is the way we define. And as I said, to make so many millions of people digitally literate is again not an easy task, because I have worked in the district administrations. I know how difficult it is to even promote conventional literacy. and lots of barriers are there which need to be overcome in a very meticulous manner. And even bigger barriers will be there when it comes to digital literacy, because a generation ahead, people who are of that age group will just not feel that computers are meant for them. They'll think that they have kind of gone beyond that stage. But still, there are ways of overcoming this barrier. There are lots of global success stories, good examples in the way internet revolution has been brought to absolutely the poorest of the poor and the most marginalized community. So when I spoke a while ago about these one-stop shops in every panchayat, these will become the literacy centers. And again, we will be piggybacking on a number of other community mobilization initiatives, including women's self-help group programs, etc. We also, as you know, Hyderabad is a center for software development, and we have close to 700 companies, large and small, which are located in the state. And we will be seeking volunteers from these companies. We will have a district adoption program, we'll have a village adoption program, panchayat adoption program, hardware issues will be tackled. So lots of very detailed planning has gone behind this digital Telangana programs. So unless the supply is ensured till the last mile, and unless a demand is created to uptake all these e-governance initiatives, what we are talking about or what we are attempting will only remain a small kind of an iceberg in the ocean, the tip of the iceberg, and the complete potentiality of e-governance ought to be realized by all the state governments, by all the national ministries, by all the departments, agencies, in a very, very planned and meticulous fashion. So I look forward to getting your suggestions on the plans of Telangana government and hope to stay engaged. Thank you.